First aspect of demographics is a younger generation of young people coming through who are not like us, who are different. They grew up with this technology and they are completely comfortable with it. We call them the digital natives. In their simplest form, this is an illustration of what I mean by a digital native, someone who has grown up with this technology as normal. That's not my one-year-old daughter. You can find that clip on YouTube. But what a statement. A magazine is an iPad that does not work. Do you think that she will ever read a print newspaper? Ever? Do you think she'll ever subscribe to a print magazine? How happy would she be working in your office? You don't have 18 years to sort yourself out, because her older brothers and sisters and her older cousins, if they were born in the digital age, which began when Tim Berners-Lee released the HTTP code to the world, web pages, which were born in 1990, the same year that Nelson Mandela was released from jail, by the way, same year our country became new. In that new world, politically, economically, technologically, a born-free generation has been growing up. And if they were born in 1990 and went to university, well, they started working for you last year. I'm not sure you're anywhere close to being ready for them. And some of them are ready to be your clients. Are you ready for them? The other side of the demographic equation, of course, you are very familiar with as well. What a great photograph, eh? Man, as I say, my grandmother turns 100 next February, and I'm sure she's going to make it. But we know the stats, you know the stats. Number of people turning 100 every year is increasing by nearly 400% a year at the moment. 4 times as many people are 100 this year than last year. More than half of all the people who have ever turned 80 are still alive. Some of you are doing this now. You need to hear that one again, right? There are 165 million people in the world over the age of 80. That's half of all the people in the history of the world who have ever reached that age. When my grandmother was born in February 1914 in British East Africa, now Tanzania, life expectancy for a white woman in the British Empire was 47. When my daughters were born, life expectancy for them was 86, 87, and 89. The reason for the difference is because, as you know, life expectancy is increasing by 1 day every week at the moment. My oldest daughter, who was born in 1999, will live in 3 centuries. And many, many of you will easily see your 100th birthdays. Most of your younger clients will see their 120th birthdays. And I am convinced that the first person to live to 150 years old is already alive. They probably don't live in the Free State, but they are already alive. This changes everything. You know this, you understand this. This is the career you've chosen to help people get their heads around this. I don't think you're getting anywhere close to thinking about the huge implications of this demographic shift. There has never been a moment in history before when demography has changed so fast and so dramatically, and the impacts of it have the ability to rip the society that we have put together apart. Retirement, the concept of retirement that we have today, was invented in the 1880s by the German Kaiser, who asked his clever people, they didn't have actuaries in those days, but I suppose the equivalent, to tell him at what age he would need to ask people in his government to leave office so that only 10% of people would ever do that. And that age was 62. And he said, let's make it 65 to be safe. He expected only 10% of people to ever reach that age. If we did the same calculation today, retirement should be set at 92. Some of you just had a heart attack. Maybe you don't have to keep doing this job until you're 92, but you know that you and many of your clients have to keep doing something. You know what? That's not a financial statement. They might have perfectly enough money to survive as long as they want to survive. That's a psychological statement. That's an emotional statement. That's a societal statement. We are about to see the death of retirement in the next decade or two. Something that was established in the industrial age for the industrial era will die in our lifetimes. So what's your job? What is it that you do again? Do you nurture a dying institution? Or are you looking at the next era?